The shift from resistance to curiosity marks the beginning of what might be the most profound journey you'll ever take. One where the prison walls of anxiety slowly dissolve without you even noticing they're gone. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. In fact, the most meaningful changes often occur so subtly that we fail to recognize them until months later, when something triggers the realization that we've become someone new. 6 months into my practice of detachment, I found myself giving a presentation to over 100 people when the projector failed. Previously, this technical glitch would have triggered catastrophic thoughts and a panic attack. But something different happened that day. I noticed the flutter of anxiety arise, observed it with genuine curiosity, and then continued. I improvised, made a joke about technology, and delivered the presentation without slides. Only when a colleague commented on my composure did I realize the shift. I had fundamentally changed my relationship with anxiety. This transformation wasn't linear. There were still difficult days and challenging moments. The difference was that these experiences no longer defined me. They became passing weather patterns in my internal landscape, rather than devastating storms that destroyed everything. Neuroplasticity research explains this change. Through consistent mindfulness and cognitive reframing, we reshape the neural pathways associated with anxiety. The brain adapts, creating connections that prioritize calm observation over panic. What begins as deliberate practice becomes your default response. Studies confirm what I experienced. Anxious thoughts diminish over time because your brain processes triggers differently. My creative work transformed unexpectedly. For years, perfectionism had manifested as creative paralysis. As detachment became integrated into my daily life, these blocks dissolved. By observing perfectionist thoughts without identifying with them, I continued writing despite my internal critic. This led to completing my first book manuscript after numerous abandoned attempts. My relationships deepened in ways I hadn't anticipated. Before embracing detachment, I constantly sought validation, making every interaction a calculated performance. As I practiced detachment from anxious thoughts about social acceptance, I discovered authentic presence. "You're so much more here now," a friend observed, capturing the shift. By freeing myself from worry about others' perceptions, I could listen, respond genuinely, and connect deeply. Strained relationships began to heal, and new connections formed with surprising ease. This journey parallels Montaigne's philosophical evolution. His early essays reveal someone grappling with anxiety through rigorous intellectual examination. His later works show a person who made peace with uncertainty rather than battling against it, embodying the same transformation from resistance to acceptance that I experienced. Montaigne wrote, "The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself," capturing the essence of detachment I was discovering centuries later. My approach to triggering situations changed profoundly. Health concerns that once sent me spiraling into catastrophic thinking and symptom Googling now elicit a thoughtful response. I notice the worry, acknowledge it without judgment, and respond rather than react. I might still consult a doctor, but from a place of reasonable self-care rather than panic. Research on life satisfaction reveals something fascinating. Individuals practicing detachment report higher fulfillment, not because they care less about outcomes, but because they're less burdened by the need for control and validation. As my need to control every aspect of my future diminished, I gained more influence over my actual circumstances. The spaciousness created by freedom from constant worry allowed new ideas to emerge and flourish. Projects became invitations for exploration rather than sources of overwhelming anxiety. Studies demonstrate how detachment enhances creativity by freeing the mind from self-doubt. My experience confirms this research. As anxiety consumed less mental bandwidth, creative thinking expanded. The freedom from self-judgment allowed me to take risks that previously seemed impossible. The transformation in social connections was perhaps most profound. Research shows that detachment allows for more authentic and present interactions. When we're not monitoring ourselves for signs of judgment, we can simply be with one another. I navigated conflicts with greater equanimity, expressed needs clearly, and listened with genuine curiosity rather than defensive anxiety. This transformation doesn't eliminate anxiety entirely, nor should it. Anxiety remains an important signal for navigating genuine challenges. What changes is our relationship to that signal. Rather than being overtaken, we observe it, gather the information it offers, and choose our response intentionally. Your journey with detachment will reflect your unique experience with anxiety, but the pattern remains consistent. As you practice observing thoughts without entanglement, you'll notice moments of freedom where there was constriction, ease where there was struggle, and connection where there was isolation. The brain's remarkable capacity to adapt through consistent mental practice isn't mere positive thinking. It's physiological change. Through mindfulness and cognitive reframing, you create neural pathways that become your default response. What begins as effort gradually integrates into your being, transforming how you engage with life itself. We've come to the end of our journey through the labyrinth of anxiety, and I hope you've realized something profound. The walls that have confined you exist primarily in your mind. The statistics don't lie, with nearly 1 in 5 adults experiencing anxiety disorders, and an even higher percentage among adolescents. You're far from alone in this struggle. Yet now you possess the key to unlock your mental prison. Begin your journey with detachment today. 5 minutes of practice can transform your anxious thoughts into peaceful clarity, like morning fog lifting to reveal a clear horizon. Remember Montaigne's timeless wisdom. My life has been full of terrible misfortunes.